Welcome to the Convo Sutra. My name's Tarun Shetty, here with another fantastic episode, your weekly dose of online friendship and banter. Joining me are our usual panelist, who I love, and we got a special guest, Anaya Kaur, actress here in Los Angeles. Welcome to the Convo Sutra.
Thank you.
Yay. Your dream.
My dream.
You made it. You know these people here you're meeting for the first time?
I am meeting them for the first time. They seem very nice so far.
Are they?
I don't know. We'll find out.
I don't know. Richard's got on the denim. Anytime you wear denim, that means you've got kind of a roughness to yourself.
Well, it's protection. Yeah, it's like a little bit of an armor for me, just in case anybody comes at me.
Dude, you got to go with the denim, though. I love denim stuff.
I do like denim, but I feel like denim was like really in 5 years ago. And I feel like it's going to come back in about 5 years.
Exactly 5 years.
I'm predicting 5 years. Yeah, 2029, I think, is going to be the year of the denim.
See, my goal with fashion is to buy stuff, then it goes out of fashion, then it comes back into fashion.
100%, yeah.
I just hold on and I wait.
Yeah, I don't understand people who wear Balenciaga and stuff like that. I'm like, when is this? It's going to be in fashion for 1 year, and then who's ever going to... Unless aliens take over the planet, you can't wear Balenciaga.
Like Ed Hardy. Like
Ed Hardy?
Ed Hardy had a moment and then it's gone.
Ed Hardy had a moment in 1998.
Yeah. But it was imagine all the people that bought that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the donation pile bin now, or has been for 20 years.
It's all the Salvation Army. Homeless people wear Ed Hardy because that's everything that's been donated.
Yeah.
What do you think, Anaya? First of all, I call you Twinkle. Her name's Anaya, and we met in an acting class.
We did.
Right? And I normally hit on Indian girls in my actors class, but I do not hit on you at all. So give me props for that.
You normally do?
Sometimes.
I don't know if I should be offended.
As a guy, you want to take advantage of opportunities, and acting classes are the perfect place to meet people.
That is true.
Have you ever dated people in an acting class?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying?
It always happens. It always happens because being in an acting class is so intense, and doing a scene with a partner in front of an audience is so intense that after you're done with that scene, you feel bonded with this person permanently. So this person you dated, did you do a scene with them in front of the class?
He told me he loved me in front of the class.
Yeah.
Really?
But for real. Not
For
even
a
in a
scene? Oh.
No, not in a scene. Not in a scene. And I was like, wow, I kind of like his guts.
He just said that? He's like, I want to announce that I love you?
Yeah.
So wait, you're attracted to people who tell you that they love you in public?
I was a different person back then.
Tharon has something
Probably
to
not
say
anymore.
to you right now.
Yeah, that's why I brought you on the podcast. I don't think it's a smart move for me to date actresses, even though I always go back on my word. For me, it's not a good matchup. Do you feel like actors are good choices of men for you?
I don't think so, and for lots of reasons, I think this specific career path is so. It's not I wouldn't say it's like a normal job. So to have somebody, I don't know. I just think actors are a little crazy.
What about comedians?
Comedians
Have
probably
you dated
also,
a comedian?
I've never dated a comedian, but I feel
Richard? Here's your shot.
I've dated plenty of comedians, and it's not going to happen anymore.
She's not a comedian, though. She's an actress.
No, we're not. No one's dating on this podcast, dude. Can you stop this?
Yeah, stop
dude,
making that happen.
nobody
Make that
is
happen.
dating anybody. This is completely platonic. I'm so tired of people being like, "Are you two dating? Are you two dating?" No, friends. Sorry, go ahead.
Did I just get friend zoned?
You got friend zoned. You got
The
friend
public
zoned.
declaration
Yeah.
of being friend zoned.
The only person I'm dating is Joseph, the producer.
I think in LA, though, it's a tough town to meet people in general. So, but the acting class thing does evolve for me. I just can't help it.
You would think it would work because you two get the craziness of the industry and all of that, but it actually doesn't. I think because an artist's life is so consumed by their work. I don't know if it's a good idea to be with somebody who's also going through that struggle, because it's a constant it doesn't have to be, but for the most part it is a lot of struggle, right? So I feel like it's nice to have somebody who's just kind of has that area of their life figured out, and it's not something that's consuming their entire life as it does if you're an artist.
Well, you said artist life. What does that mean to you?
I think when you have a job, or that type of career, specific type of career, like you say you're a doctor, you're a nurse or whatever, you go to your job, you're done with your job and then you move on to other parts of your life. When you're an artist, I feel like your life is creating. And I don't think that it ever, for me at least, it doesn't ever stop. I'm always thinking about like what I'm going to do next, what I want to do in the next year. And it's just, I don't think it's the same when you have those type of careers.
But would it be fun to like be creating with that person though? Like, I don't know. Sometimes I think like, do creatives that date each other have more fun because then they're both in that energetic flow and they're like, yeah, like, let's do a project together. Or let's come up with that. Like, does that happen? Or is it kind of like, no, you prefer the stability like you were saying?
Maybe it's a selfish thing to like prefer the stability because it's like, oh, I need somebody that has their stuff figured out. But yeah, I don't think I've had that where I'm like dating somebody who's also in this field and we create together. That hasn't happened, but yeah, it could be nice.
I just think it's interesting. Like a lot of times when you date someone, it's like, why does this person have to be everything to you? It's like, this person's my lover and my creative partner and my stability and my friend. It's like, whoa, and my dentist. It's like, whoa, dude, stop. Like, you know, it's just, this is your person that brings you stability. That's fine, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like nice to, depending on what type of person you are, like, what if you like your space and like to have that thing just for yourself and like have different things in your life?
So was acting like always like part of like your central, I'm going to be an actress and live the Desi dream of becoming, I don't know, the next Meryl Streep here in Los Angeles? Was that something that you always wanted?
I think maybe not the Meryl Streep thing, but I think I always knew like acting was going to be it for me. It's just growing up, I was very shy. So I had like this little dream, but it was kind of like to myself.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know if I would ever go for it just because I was so shy. Like in high school, I barely talked to really anyone. I didn't really talk out loud. And my siblings like knew this whole other side of me.
Man, this podcast is perfect for you. You get to talk out loud.
I know.
You get
This is the first time I'm actually talking out
Oh,
loud.
was this your first
Yeah,
podcast?
it's my first podcast.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Welcome.
Thank
you
you.
were, I guess, you're a virgin.
But yeah, so I don't even know what I was talking about.
Hey, you're doing great.
I hope so.
This is the best first appearance I've ever seen on a podcast, to be honest. If this is your first time, wow, you have a podcast in your future.
I agree with you.
What? That's crazy. Thank you.
So
You have
you're,
an easy flow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
so where in India are you from?
I'm from Delhi.
Oh, nice. I like the way you said that.
Delhi?
Oh, yeah.
Did you grow up in Delhi?
No.
What do you think about that?
I have a lot of memories, and I feel
Yeah.
like most people don't when they're 5, but I have like I have a lot of memories from when I was in India. So in a way, I guess yes, because it was a big. I feel like those first 5 years are pretty formative years. But yeah, I grew up here in California.
Yeah. I'm going to go to India next week.
Where are you going?
Pune, Mumbai, Bangalore.
I love that your name is Tarun, but you say Bangalore.
Bangalore.
Bangalore,
I know.
Pune.
You know what? My dad actually said that to me. He called me. He's like, "You're not saying anything right." On the no, I do like Bollywood news for an Indian show, and he's
Yeah.
like, "You're not saying any of these names right. Like, why are you? What are you doing?" I'm such a disappointment to him. I'm like, okay, do my best.
But you grew up in New Hampshire, so you've got the New Hampshire accent.
Yeah, if I talk on the phone, people think I'm white. People
Yeah.
don't know what I am. I don't try to deny who I am. And I don't know. Sometimes I feel like there is a disconnect with Indians, even on the show sometimes, because I wasn't raised in Mumbai. You know, we speak a different language at home.
When you're talking like, if I was raised in California, you're speaking English and then an Indian word shows up. Do you throw the Indian accent on the word or do you Americanize it? So if I go like, my accent is very California. So I'm like, yeah, the other day I was hanging with my friend Tarun. Is that what I do? Or do I go, I was hanging out with my friend Tarun? You know, that's the more natural sounding thing. What do you
Neither are
guys
the
do?
correct pronunciation that you just said.
I cannot do anything. I mean,
So what languages do you speak?
English.
Just English?
Oh,
So
yeah.
then you can't,
Real good.
even if you wanted to, you couldn't
I couldn't do it if I
actually
wanted
say
to.
the words.
Yeah. So what do you do? Do you speak Hindi?
I speak Hindi and Punjabi and English, so I know the right pronunciations for them, so I would pronounce them right. I hope.
See, but even when I met you, Richard, I don't know you were Indian. I think I've told you that before.
Yeah.
And it was such a relief to know that you were Indian. I don't even know. I might have asked you point blank because I just knew that we had commonalities, even though we're both like raised in different parts of America, I felt like, oh, this guy gets, and he was doing stand up. So I was like, oh, I'm sure there's a common thread between us. So
Yeah.
I think that Indian bond is there.
The Indian bond is there. You know, like I've been doing comedy for so long, and I look at who my closest friends are, and they're all Indian. I'm like, okay, well, that's the closest bond. It has nothing else to do with anything.
All right, who are your friends?
My friends,
Yeah.
they just.
I love
I actually
everything.
didn't have Indian friends growing up. I went to a school that had.
I just asked you who are your friends. You know Indian friends growing up?
I didn't, not growing up, but
Okay.
I just went to a school that didn't have a lot of Indians. And there was like one other Indian girl, and she was just like very into her studies, so she didn't really care to be my friend. And I felt more American than Indian growing up for sure. All of my friends were like Latinas, and they still are.
Yeah,
See, I would
I
think
thought
you were
I thought you were Latino when you came in here.
I get that a lot.
I thought you were Latinx. Sorry.
Latinx.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
What is
in California?
Latinx?
Oh, it's the gender neutral form of Latino.
Really?
Yeah, so if you're a Colombian or Mexican or
All right, I forgot.
Argentinian,
I need
Latinx.
to edit this out.
All right, we'll keep that part out.
So where did you grow up in Southern?
It just drives me crazy.
I grew up in Roland Heights, which is like
Okay.
30 minutes south of
Yeah.
LA. And so I came to LA a lot while I was growing up. It was like the fun thing to do was like to come here and like go shopping and do all those kinds of things. But yeah, so it was, even though I didn't live super far away, it was like a big deal for me when I moved to LA, because Punjabi girls like don't move out. And yeah, it was like a big change for me when I did finally move out here.
I was going to ask my next question if you live with your parents.
No,
You live by yourself?
well, with a roommate, but yeah, when I first moved out, I moved out alone, and it was like a huge deal for me to do that. But I just knew, like, even though I didn't live so far from LA, I just felt like there's just a different energy to when you're young and you're on your own and you have like a dream that you want to pursue. It's just different to be on your own and do that.
What did you say when you wanted to move out? Like, you just want to move out to LA for acting? Because I feel like for Indian families, like they're like, oh, if you're moving away for college or you're moving away for work, that's okay.
Yeah.
Or you're getting married.
Yeah.
Those are like the 3 times.
That's my mom's thing. It's
Yeah.
like the only time you move out is
Yeah.
when you get married. So I was pursuing acting even while I lived with them. So they would see me getting up at 5 a.m. to go to acting class, like, to make it on time.
At 5 a.m. acting classes?
Literally.
Yeah,
What
we're
were you
acting
driving
classes.
for?
Because if I were to leave any time past 6:30, I wouldn't make it to my
What
like
time
morning
is class
in
at?
time. Like at 8:30, I had to be there. So
Yeah.
morning traffic was crazy going from Roland Heights. So I would just wake up at 5, and I'm like, I just gotta wake up at 5 and get
Like,
to LA.
You're an investment banker going to acting class.
And then I would come back home, and then I used to work all day, and they used to see me do that like 4 or 5 times a week. And so when I moved out, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm going to college, I'm working as a manager, I'm going to acting classes. Like, I need to be there to be able to do these things in a more efficient manner. So that's kind of what I told them.
And
Yeah,
they
I like
got
that.
it?
Yeah. Efficiency. Indian parents will understand efficiency if you come at it that way.
You know, maybe normal parents, Punjabi parents, I don't know.
Well, how did they take it? Were they like, we get it, or no?
I was just like, I've signed a lease, I'm doing this, and I'm going. And then it was, I don't think they took it too well. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was like, are we not going to talk to our kid because she's
Moved out.
wants to work? Like,
Yeah.
This is a common theme here on this podcast. We've talked to many Indian artists, and their parents are just disappointed in general with their career choices. So good for you. Where's Rollins Heights, anyways? I don't even know where that is.
Roland Heights.
And
It's
where's
like
that?
close to Diamond Bar.
Okay, it's not
But
too
just
bad.
a correction, I think my mom is like super proud of
Okay,
everything
good.
that I've done.
Let's clear that up.
And was actually very supportive. I guess it was more my dad. He just didn't like the idea of like me living alone. And
Naya
like,
loves your parents. Let's be clear about this.
let's be clear about this, because what if they watch this?
Why are there so many Indian people in Diamond Bar? It's like this random like Eastern alcove in LA. Like,
Maybe it's called Diamond. It's the
I think that's what. Yeah, they're like, oh,
Like,
we
let's
trade
move to
diamonds,
Diamond.
Diamond Bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm
don't know.
surprised that you didn't grow up with that many Indian people, because like Diamond Bar, Roland Heights,
Yeah.
like, there are a lot of Indian people
So
out that way.
I feel like the Indian people went to Diamond Bar High School because they was just a nicer school.
Oh.
And then the leftovers, like, we went to Roland High School.
So were you guys like the slum high school?
I think so.
Roland
Yeah,
Heights.
I think we were. It's okay though.
That's hilarious. So you grew up there, no Indian friends, and you were like, I need
This is sounding really sad. You grew up in a sucky school.
Yeah,
You had no Indian
you
friends.
grew up in the projects, no friends, and you were like, I'm just going to be an actress, and you started your journey.
Sort of, yeah. I started college, and then I ended up getting this photographer like hired me to do pictures for her studio that she was opening. And so she was like doing my hair and stuff like before we shot pictures, and she's like, "Why are you not modeling?" And to me that was like, I'm 5'3", like I can't model. And she was just like telling me about like print work and all of these other kind of things, and like how to get a manager and agent. And that's kind of how it started. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I think I can do this.
Rich, what was your high school experience like?
Dude, high school I went to a really bad high school. So I was in Fremont up in the Bay Area.
Oh.
Yeah, but Fremont has really good high schools. I went to a bad one. Like, and I actually didn't realize how bad my high school was until in retrospect, I looked at what was happening. Like kids were bringing guns to school.
Did you wear the denim? That's the most important
They used to
thing.
wear denim. Dude, the Spanish class I was taking, all the kids already spoke Spanish. And they were just taking the class and like not doing homework or anything. I was the only kid who didn't speak Spanish in the Spanish class.
It's like Spanish 10.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of Indian people with you? Because in Fremont, there's a lot of Indians too, right?
There are a couple. Yeah, there's my core group though has no Indian people in it for some reason.
In high school too?
Yeah, in high school, yeah.
Who was your core group?
I have one Filipino guy, one Thai guy, and one Jewish guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
diverse little group.
Very diverse, dude. We would be killing it on a college catalog. We just need a black girl in a wheelchair and we'll be good.
What was your high school like, Ritu?
I actually did go to a predominantly white high school as well. I grew up in Valencia. So, but my immediate friends were actually Latinx.
Latinx, oh yeah.
Yeah, because one was Nicaraguan. One was
You
some
can't say that
sort
word.
of
Sorry, go ahead.
one was some sort of
it's
Hispanic.
Nicaraguan X.
And then so those were my immediate friends. But yeah, I didn't have that many Indian people. I had a couple, and I was friends with them, kind of, but the core group was non-Indian. But because I grew up going to the mandir and to the Gurdwara, I had a lot of Indian friends from that. So high school was just, the uncool kids hung out in one place, and the cool kids hung out in one space, and
Did
the
you
jocks
connect
hung out
with
somewhere else.
like while growing up? How was it connecting with like other Indian girls?
For me, it was great because like they're like my best friends till today. But that's because like our parents basically, since we were 10 years old, took us every weekend to the temple, and like we had to like hang out, and we did dances together, we did plays together, we did the Ramayan together, or whatever, So we were very connected, and also we weren't really allowed to be friends with boys. So you had to be friends with Indian girls.
Okay.
I didn't have any Indian friends because I was the only Indian kid in my high school.
The only one?
Yeah. In New Hampshire. So I was the only guy. I mean, you guys are looking at me like
State of shock.
It wasn't a bad thing because I was indifferent to it. So
Yeah.
I didn't, but it's weird now that I'm in this, all I make is Indian stuff. I swear to God, even this podcast. But it's weird now that I'm in this Indian Desi scene sometimes, or work at Showbiz India, whatever. But yeah, I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Did you guys feel insecure? It's more for Richard. Did you feel insecure being an Indian guy? Like just talking to girls and stuff? I did.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Being Indian and talking, you know what? Not really. I think, but I had a really weird
You had a
life.
good game?
I think I have, my game is pretty good. Yeah. I just go up to a girl and I just start just having a mental breakdown, and then they usually start getting into it.
What kind of girls are these?
No, I never had like a good, it was not because I was Indian that I was feeling insecure. I had a really weird family. So I felt insecure about my family. I knew that I couldn't bring anyone home to my family. So it's like, I was like, why am I even talking to girls? So I actually didn't start talking to women until after college. Yeah.
Same, actually. Like people think I was like some notorious dater.
Yeah, I think it's so. A lot of people are so weird where they're like, "Oh, I was a late bloomer. I didn't lose my virginity until I was 19, until I was 20." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
It's like it makes people feel so bad if they didn't lose their virginity at like 22. Fucking, some people don't lose until 30.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's so many people doing that, living in quiet desperation. And
Yeah.
all these people are like, "Hey, I was 19 when I lost my virginity. It was so old."
Anaya, when did you lose your virginity? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was gonna say, I was like,
Your podcast virginity.
I was like, it's interesting because like in an Indian community, like everyone just is a virgin until the day they're married.
Yeah.
So that's
It's
not even a
topic,
conversation.
so-
It's not even a
Yeah.
topic.
I'm like,
Is that
oh.
a thing now? I feel like now it's more promiscuous as just going through American society.
It might be like people are obviously dating, but I still don't think it's like a topic of conversation, really.
I feel like there are younger like Indians that are a little bit more bold about their choices and make it known. And I do feel like because their parents are also from a different generation, say, than my parents, they've lived a certain kind of life. Like they're the ones who kind of grew up here. They know what's going on. So they understand that like, okay, you're being active or you're doing things, right? But I don't know if it's as discussed in like more, I guess you could say, reserved homes. Yeah. It's still probably like, do what you're doing, but like, we don't need to have any announcements or declarations or talk about it.
And
kind
I
of a
was
thing.
discussing your house when you moved out.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
See, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. When I moved to LA, I didn't go nuts, but I was like, oh my God, I'm free. And then I was going to a lot of these Indian parties and stuff. And I was meeting a lot of girls and stuff. And you're almost like you live this carefree life. You got to kind of rein it back in.
There is a bias against Indian men in the dating scene. I think it's gone away. It's going away now, but there definitely was growing up. But now the thing is like Indian people are so cool because like meditation and Eastern culture is so popular here that I do get a lot of attention from white women that just love the idea of an Eastern guy. But that has only started in the last couple of years.
It's actually a big turnoff for me when women are just into me because you're Indian. I've met those girls. And
So wait, you don't like being a fetish?
No.
Why not? Dude, it's like if someone wants to use you for your Indian body, it's like, hell yeah.
An Indian body.
Yeah.
I thought it's because I'm Indian. Just like a weird thing. I don't like it so much.
You want them to like you for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but everything
That's what
starts
it is. That's what it is.
everything starts from a superficial point of view. Like
It does.
you know, it's like they might like you because you're hot. You're like, oh, you just like me because I'm hot. And then you're like, I want you to like me because I'm intelligent. Then it's like, oh, you just like me because I'm intelligent. It's like, at what point does this stop? You know, there's some like entryway.
Do women get that?
Get what?
Like, I like you because you're hot. Do people say that to you outright? Because obviously that's a big thing. I feel like attraction's important. That's why I take acting classes.
What?
That's why I take acting classes.
Oh, I was like, that's not why I was
No.
there.
What we think for guys, does that apply to women as well? In terms of, people liking for
Absolutely.
you?
I feel like that's like the first thing for men, even more than women. I feel like women are more forgiving when it comes to looks,
Yeah, you are for sure.
right?
Yeah,
But men are not.
men are not. No.
Yeah, that's why we do everything we do. That's why we do our hair. That's why we.
Thank you for saying that. Because a lot of women these days are going like, no, I do my hair for other women.
That too, yes. We love a compliment from a woman, but at the end of the day, I just don't think like. I think
You want someone who's going to marry and provide for you, right?
no,
No.
no, marry but not provide. Why did you come to that conclusion?
I feel like stability is important, and women, this is me being just I guess misogynist, I guess. You want to find somebody who's going to take care of you and who's going to be a stable partner and provide for your children and offspring. These are just my experiences as I've gotten older as a comedian. Or
Yeah.
I'm written off immediately sometimes. They were like, oh, like back when I was 25, I got some leeway, some runway. Is that important to you?
I would want somebody who's like not wasteful with their money. I guess just makes like good financial decisions. But is that what I'm thinking when I'm meeting a guy? Like, wonder what his financial decisions are like. Probably not. I don't think those are like the
Wow,
first
good
few
for you.
things that come for me. I think just like when you meet somebody and like connection is just the first thing that the first and most important thing that I'm looking for.
I guess my question is, would you settle? That's a better way of asking.
Would I settle?
Yeah.
In what sense?
Say you reach a certain point and you're like, I'm not finding anybody. I'm going to settle for this guy because he provides? There's no way I can ask this question. Ritu, save me here. You know what I'm saying, right?
I do understand what you're saying because, I'll tell you where he's kind of coming from. Because in the past, when we've had these conversations, the word stability has come up a lot.
Yeah.
And because there does seem to be a feeling, particularly like even with the way that we're raised as Indians, right? Ki, like, I'm like, ki.
Now I understand.
So it's like, find somebody, like if you had your parents find somebody for you versus you finding somebody for you, right? Your parents might try to find somebody who is financially sound and successful. And to them, that's a winning marker of like success, right? You, like you said, you go out, you meet somebody, you're like, how am I getting along with them? Like, am I having a good time? And then you'll determine and see like, okay, if we were to bring our lives together, could we kind of have a harmony within our finances? Because you did mention like you want somebody who's not necessarily an artist or creative, right? Because of that stability thing. So I think he's what he's asking for, and why this question has come up in the past as well, is because do Indian women, maybe partly because of our upbringing, are we kind of told that, okay, if a guy makes money and he can provide for you, then you can kind of leisurely enjoy your life.
Gotcha.
But you know what the issue is though? People don't know my finances, but they make assumptions based upon what I do, right? So that's what irritates me. I don't like when people make quick judgments, and I don't know if it's an LA thing or not, but yeah, now that you understand the question, whatever I was asking.
I think when I talk about stability, I think I mean it in a different sense. I think the way that you guys might be perceiving it is like, is he at a certain place in his life and making a certain amount of money? The way that I see stability is that, does this person have clear goals? Are they working towards something? Do they have, stability in terms of like emotions? I guess that's what I'm referring
That's
to.
a good answer. I get it.
Yeah, that's
So
actually...
it's not the end all be all. Like
Right.
if a guy doesn't, is not in a certain tax bracket, one, I wouldn't ask or want to know. But I think I'm just looking for that stability in terms of like what they want to do with their lives, how motivated they are to get there. I think that's what I mean in terms of adding like a stability to my life.
Yeah. What do you think, Richard?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's really going to happen. I feel like more people are single now than ever. We're actually living in a time where, more people are single now than ever before, because we actually don't need each other anymore. Like relationships used to be based on like, oh, we need to form a team so that we can like survive together. Now everybody can just survive by themselves. So everybody has super high standards. No one meets the standards. We're all single. So I don't know. We're living in a very weird time right now. I don't even know if I'll ever meet anybody at this point.
Do you think it's standards? The reason why like people just have high standards and that's why they're not?
People don't need each other anymore. So at a time when you don't need somebody, now you just create this idea of what you want. Oh, I want to date this model girl that's like, 10 years younger than me. And then I'm only just waiting for that. And then I just die alone.
I think people need each other more now than like ever.
Why?
Why?
Because the lives that we live, the way that society right now is set up is like so
What life are you living?
isolation. Like isolation. I think people need connection more than ever. I think it's an idea in people's head where they think that there's so many choices and so many people available to them, when in reality it's not. I think people are just not willing to put in the work.
Yeah.
And then they resort back to, oh, my standards are just too high. That's what it is. And I just don't think that that's true.
Well, another aspect is marriage is a very difficult prospect, because the issue with marriage now is that whoever makes less money can divorce, and then the other person has to give them money. So that becomes a huge problem. If you marry someone who makes way less money than you, then they're actually incentivized to leave because they can take half your stuff and then go into another marriage. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be women making less money. It could be women making more money, guy making less money, divorce. So marriage is not incentivized anymore.
But you
is
can
a
have
problem.
a prenup, right?
No,
To protect yourself?
There's
Even if
loopholes
you-
in the prenup, though.
Even if you sign a prenup, if you guys live together for like a certain amount of time, the stuff that you accumulate while living together is considered domain of the couple.
Is this something you've ever thought about?
No, I was
Me
just
neither.
thinking that. I was like, well, hopefully when I get married, I'm not thinking about I'm going to walk out of the marriage or have it break.
No, of course not. But the first 3 years, you're like, okay, this is great. But then, marital problems start surfacing 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years in. And you're like, the person who makes less money is like, oh, I could just leave.
Oh, that's my biggest problem.
You know?
Is I always think about that stuff. I analyze stuff.
I don't-
Raised that way. That's
Yeah,
why I
no.
think-
No, but this is-
but to think that way, I guess. I was just having actually coffee with one of my really good friends yesterday, and
He's a divorce lawyer.
who's a divorce lawyer?
Yeah.
No. And we were talking about how now people are starting to get divorced in like the circles that we know, right? So it's kind of like, oh, okay, that is a reality what you're saying, where like people are trying to figure out like finances and childcare and all of that is getting split up and it's getting messy. But then we were also saying that we're very fortunate that among our family friend circle that most people always say like, oh, what's the point of getting married? Do you know any happy couples? And we were saying like the majority of our friends are happily married. Now that doesn't mean they're happy every single day. That doesn't mean that they are like, yes, I'm like, so happy and on cloud 9 because I have this partner. It's that overall, through the highs and the lows, they are happy that they have the partner and that there is some teammate actually that is there to like just be my support and my stability, not necessarily financially, emotionally, just overall to like walk forward in life. So
Yeah.
they're just happy that they chose each other for the long haul.
I definitely want that, but I'm just wondering, do we actually have to sign papers and get married? Like, do you think it's okay to just have a boyfriend, girlfriend for the rest of your life? Like, because that's kind of the thing I'm leaning towards.
Like cohabitating.
Cohabitate. But the thing is, even if you cohabitate for a long time, you become common law married. So I'm trying to, like, is there some
What about a
arrangement?
registered domestic partner? Is that also?
I don't know what the laws are around that,
Yeah.
but that sounds pretty
You should
good
look into
there. Yeah.
So if your boyfriend from acting class said,
Oh, we don't want to talk about that man anymore.
your future person of interest, said,
Yeah.
will you be my registered domestic partner? You'd be like, yes, I'll consider that. But we're not going to get married. We're not going to have any paperwork. Would you be okay with that?
No,
Why?
because I don't know. I think that
You don't have to answer
I don't
that.
know.
It's
I
fine.
think
I
girls.
want the answer,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I don't even know the answer, but
Yeah.
I
So you want that signed, we're married.
yeah.
That's fine.
Interesting.
No, but I get that. I get that.
If you plan on being with me forever, like what is the
deal.
issue with signing this? It's just a piece of paper, so let's just do it.
I think as females, you guys, there's different value on that paper of getting certified marriage. Like we're officially married. Here's my person. Because I'm with Richard, actually. I actually wonder, like,
Yeah.
what is especially now for me being older now, I'm like, what is the incentive now? Say we don't want kids. Like, what is the reason to get married officially and, I don't know, sign paperwork where you can take half my shit?
I'm not thinking. I haven't thought about that until it was brought up today.
Well,
about
that's the thing, but I think it's something
somebody
that we
walking
Welcome to
away
the
with my
Convo Sutra.
stuff.
But we
Yeah.
just, it is something we should think about because that's the reason I won't get married. And it's just like, nobody wants to divorce. Nobody wants to, but it's just like whoever's making less money is incentivized to leave. So I just think like, that's why most guys are scared of marriage. So I think it's just like, how do we solve the problem?
Or maybe
Is
just me and
that
Richard.
why most guys are afraid to get married?
That's why I'm scared of it. Yeah.
I do see on Facebook all the time my friends getting married. So some guys, I mean, Richard and I, again, I'm not even ruling it off the table either. I might change my mind next week.
Because I've noticed like a big difference, right? Like back in the day, people didn't really have this much access to like go on dates and stuff and like spend time with women. Is the fact that you can so easily like now go on an app or whatever and go on a date, does that access make you less inclined to like be with just one person?
I've never had like a multiple plates spinning. I've always had like one, maybe two at the most, but I've never had like 20 plates spinning. So no, I think I'm also out of the age group of like being on Tinder and Hinge. That's not a big deal to me. I think for like younger people, maybe it is. I don't know. We can give her a quick answer about this. Ritu, you want to start?
Would it make you less
Yeah.
inclined to make something work with somebody? Just the fact that
There's more choice.
yeah, you can
Availability.
Just, like, yeah,
As a female, I think if I can say for myself and maybe some other people that I have experiences, shared with, that I think the most frustrating thing for women is to actually find a guy who is able to focus and commit, because you may not have multiple spinning, but oftentimes you don't know how many guys are talking to. And so then nobody's really working on investing consistently and building a foundation towards a relationship. So for me as a female, does it make it hard or easy? I think it makes it harder because there's no siloed focus. At the same time, it is nice to be able to kind of converse and meet people and see, okay, who do you have the most, who are you most synced with?
Richard, yes or no? What do you think, dating apps?
I think dating apps are over. It's just not good. It's like dating apps are skewed because it's 10%. What is it? Like the number? Oh, it's like 90% men, 10% women. And it's just like women are just like going through this whole thing, and then guys are like fighting for scraps. Like it's just so dating apps are just over. It doesn't work anymore.
Fighting for scraps.
You have to meet in person now.
Thanks for coming on. Where can we find you? On the dating apps?
I've actually never used a dating app.
Really?
Never.
My God.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's all acting classes.
Just exactly. Just acting classes.
It's a new
But
app.
I only use Instagram, and you can find me at a.t.core. We need to change my Instagram name. I think it's too wordy.
A.t.core?
Yeah.
Sounds like a Morse code.
Yeah.
I think you're going to do just great. And you've done great work already. I've seen you act. You're a talented actress. So thanks for coming on. We appreciate you. Yeah, thank you guys for coming on. And thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, join our Patreon, sponsor an episode. We'd love that. And we'll see you guys next time. Take care.